So we will start with Gildo.
Sadly, it's a one-sided love, much like a certain elf I know.
So you go
I know
down
what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
you make your way to the 6th layer, which is very, very deep. You get down there. Did anybody else go with him?
Sure.
Okay, you're
She's
with him.
always with him. Let's
She's
assume
always
that.
Okay, you've got about 3 escorts with you. So you get down to the 6th layer. You walk out of the pillar, and there is a huge cavern with gigantic buildings, like hundreds of feet tall, massive buildings. He leads you to a giant workshop. You go in there, and there's tons of mining carts bringing in adamantine and just leaving the ingots inside of storerooms. He leads you over to a weaponry area. Behind the table is a very, very large half-orc. He turns around. What can I do for you?
I need a Adamantine Maul that looks like this. And I set my maul down on the table. And here's a note from the king.
He grabs it. Well then, your funeral. I will do my best.
Good luck getting this guy. I'm not with you.
He grabs this huge chunk of adamantine. Okay. Let's see. This is a very nice maul. I can do better. Sets it down.
Probably
Puts his hand on it. A giant chunk of adamantine. His hand glows. Maul. There you go.
That was cool. Do it again. Just kidding.
I don't know how that works, but I'll take it. How does that work?
I'm your transmutationist. Highest of the school.
Oh,
Walks off.
that's cheating. I did it the old-fashioned way.
Goes over and starts stacking ingots again. But you now have an adamantine maul.
Now I just need to go to the 4th layer and get it enchanted.
Okay. So, at the 4th layer, you and Garnet travel down to the 4th layer. There it is. So, you go down to the 4th layer. Gates open. You get out. Those two keep going down. The guards let you pass through the gate. They all eye you suspiciously.
I simply smile at them and give them a slight bow in thanks and continue on my way.
Standing on the other side of the door is a very elegantly dressed drow with long white hair in purple robes. Welcome.
Thank you.
I am Taldar. I will be showing you around and getting you everything that you need. So, what is it that you two ruffians require?
You flatter us. We require enchantment.
Enchantment.
The
Oh,
guard
I'm
has
gonna
my
pull my
glare.
short sword so can anything
Yes.
deal with this.
We can have that enchanted. Follow me. And he leads you on where?
Someone from the castle should have come down as well with a small pile of weapons for my
Yes.
comrades.
Somebody did come down with a glaive and a dagger. Looked like a retard, just walking around.
Yes, well this I'm gonna
Giant
Elizabeth
bladed
start
staff
again. Was
hanging
supposed to be
from
added
the
to the
dagger.
pile. Forgetful me.
Yes. Well, no problem. So he leads you through a couple temples, past some very large campuses, over to the Enchantment campus. It is gorgeous. There are students everywhere, of every race, shape, size, and color. It's a very odd sight, really. But you pass many temples over to the Enchantment School of Enchantment. You get to the front gate where somebody is waiting. We see that we missed a couple weapons. Shall we take them for you?
I want to oversee the enchantment for this sword, thanks.
Right away, you may follow me. Taldar looks at you, and you can follow me.
Of course. Don't get into trouble.
I was going to say the same thing to you.
Honestly, sister, you should know me well.
You're not there.
I know myself well enough.
I do.
Get going.
So, he leads Garnet, a elf of modest dress, leads you through the school. It's a very large campus. I'm trying to remember what each square is. Oh, each square is about 200 feet.
Ooh.
So, the campus is about 400 feet by 400 feet.
That's not a lot.
No, it's not, but there's 9-10 campuses, so it's quite a bit. So, you go through there. He leads you to a room where you see a bunch of wizards inscribing on the glaive and the dagger, just working on them. He goes over to another wizard. We need this sword enchanted, please. Yes, right away. It will, what do you require? Would you like it magical, or would you like it to deal more damage to undead?
Oh shoot, Mirth's not with me. Oh. Honestly, since we're going to undead, I think. Well,
Okay.
magical will probably cover more base. Is there any magic towards undead that deal?
Well, one will take 2 days, and the other one will take 2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay, so, plain magic weapon. Got it. So, he grabs the sword, sits down, and starts inscribing on it.
Simple +1. Everything's fine.
So, you just sit there. He leads you,
No, I'm standing with my arms folded.
Yeah, you're just
watching this.
watching. It's a very boring process. They're literally just sitting there mumbling under their breath, inscribing little wisps of magic flowing into the weapon. It's very entertaining and enthralling, but very boring.
I mean, entertaining for Mirth. but I
Yeah,
just-
entertaining for Mirth.
I
Your
just don't want
standards is
anything
just like, what
weird
the
to happen
heck
to
is
my
going
friend.
on to what?
It's a good
He
thing
leads
the-
you all the way
the
over
box
to...
closed.
What are you?
Hopefully the main library.
You are... Conjuration. Oh,
Yeah.
right there.
Conjuration student. But they didn't know that.
Of course he knows that.
Of course they know that.
So, he leads you over to the School of Conjuration, where there is a person on the step, also drow, a little bit shorter than Taldar, holding 2 books. We have the books you requested, sir.
Excellent.
He walks over to you and hands them to you.
I'm going to take the top one off and just leave them holding the others for a second as I quickly flip through the pages.
Okay, so the top one is entitled Tome of Conjuration.
Is it full of spells?
No, it is full of a lot of different stuff, talking about how to improve your conjuration abilities and the likes. This one you will need to study.
Of course. I stuff it in my bag of holding and take the next one and start to flip through it.
That one contains a list of... Let me check how many spells.
So I'm assuming it's a small book.
A list of 18 spells.
Oh.
All conjuration spells level 1 through 3. No cantrips.
Okay, I'll take that. Is there any other books on the pile?
No, those were the only 2.
Lovely. Can I visit the evocation campus, please?
You are a conjurer.
So,
We pride ourselves in our duty as our schools. Here we focus on what we can do to better the city.
Heaven have mercy. I'm full of I'm surrounded by traditionalists. I
If
keep
you
this to
want to
myself.
call that.
I'm not saying anything.
The first year wizards will study under my watch. After they choose their school, we send them to their school to be educated in their different schools and perfect their magic in those schools in the way that they can help the city. Transmutationists usually end up in the mines or in the workshops, whereas all of the other ones have their own ways.
What does Conjuration typically get sent into?
Conjuration usually aren't very common. Wrong side of the book.
Why not?
Conjuration. Oh, they're usually used for the loading docks, since they become very proficient in floating discs. And you notice a bunch of students on these hovering discs just floating around.
Well.
They're very useful for transporting heavy things. So, if that is all you require...
Yes, that would be all normally. However...
Oh no!
I would still like to go to the evocation school and maybe visit all the other schools because I plan to be facing a high-level spellcaster with a large repertoire of spells. I believe it would be a good idea for me to have a good general idea of what the other schools would entail, thereby knowing what he might throw at us, increasing my party's survivability.
We shall go to the necromancy. So,
Close
he
enough,
leads you towards the necromancy school. And as you get closer, you see two giant plumes of smoke rising behind the school.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It is perfectly normal. We are merely burning the cadavers.
Ah.
You see,
Makes sense.
necromancers have to practice animating dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, we usually keep a lot of cadavers. Several hundred, actually. Just for them to practice. But, since we are going to be at war, we do not need undead things coming alive in our school that we do not control.
So, after we visit all the separate schools, may I ask one last thing?
What is that?
Is it possible for me to get a basic, maybe first, second year study book of magic for all the separate schools so I may familiarize myself with the different aspects during my journey to better prepare myself?
We will see if I can get you a first year book. And he looks around. Friendo, come here.
For all the schools?
It is a first year book. You would not be able to master all of
I don't
the
plan
second
to. I plan to familiarize myself with most of their effects, and maybe learn a couple myself if I can, but most of this is for study purposes, and to better prepare myself for what my enemy might throw at me.
Okay, I think I understand. So not necessarily a spell book, but
Yes,
a
a spell book.
summary of what spells do. I cannot just give you a spell book. This is a very traditional school here.
What would it take for me to get a spell book, though?
What kind of spell book?
Slap to the face.
I cast Smack Sense.
Well,
Because the only spell books here are divided between the schools. Except for the first level spell book, which gives you basic spells of cantrips and lower leveled spells so that you can practice in those levels to find where you are good and suited for school.
very well then. I would like a first year book, a good portion, maybe a couple summarized for all the separate schools. For evocation, I would like maybe a bit more detailed school, as I believe most of the spells would be facing will be combat oriented.
We will see what we can do.
Thank you, good sir. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Yes.
He doesn't sound like
The
it.
human comes over. Yes. Taldar, what can I do for you? I need a first year school book for him. First year school book with a summary of spells focused on evocation. He's very specific on that. Don't mess up, don't ask questions, just go get them. I am getting too old for this.
Is there anything I can do to, what's the word? Compensate you for the trouble you've shown me today?
No, just kill the Lich. I really don't want to deal with him at my doorstep.
Of course.
So, he leads you to the necromancy school and walks you around. There's still a couple undead walking around. The students are walking their undead to be burned. It's a very traumatic time.
Well,
there's lots of tears and crying.
all the sweet children, how they grow up and burn so fast.
This is a very mournful day. Do not mock them. They could kill you and you would be the corpse in the fire.
I don't doubt that. Take away a couple of the teachers and maybe I might manage. I'm keeping this to myself. I'm not
It's all in your head.
Or you're just muttering to yourself in Infernal.
muttering to myself in Infernal sounds hilarious, but no.
Let's see, does he know
Of course.
Infernal? No, he doesn't.
Of course, I apologize.
So he leads you around, and the guy comes back with the first year school book and then a couple documents on the different schools and their summaries of the different spells. They're not spells, but they are summaries of what each spell can do.
So essentially, I now know I have an access to not access to, but I can get a general gist of just about most of the spells.
Lower spells, yes.
All right, this isn't going to be as helpful as I hoped, but I'll take what I can get when I can get it. That part I mutter to myself in Infernal.
Consider yourself very, very taken care of. We are talking thousands of gold pieces.
Oh, also, I have a note from the king
Yes.
involving a mage armor magic item.
Okay. Today just keeps getting better and better. Let's go back to the enchanting rooms. Walks back
you
across.
could have given them that before you went on this.
Walks all
We
the
have
way
to go back and pick up you
across
anyways.
the campus.
Yes, but then it could have been
You
done
guys
by the
have
time
shown
you got me.
up by this time and are inside of the campus. The clerk. Now, what can I do for you?
I need this enchanted.
Okay, what kind of an enchantment would you like? Would you like it basic magic, or would you like it to deal more damage to certain creatures? That is the extent of what the king is requesting.
Yes.
Is he able to lift an Adamantine Maul just like that?
You're just looking at it on the desk.
Let's see.
I was gonna say clerks are buff.
No, he's a small wizard human.
Does the extra damage still count for magic for other creatures too? As if I were to run into things that weren't undead, would it still count?
Yes, it'd still be a magical weapon, yes.
Let's do that then.
Okay, then come pick it up in 2 days. It shall be done.
I can survive without it, I guess.
He's just like, can you carry it to the other room?
Okay.
So, you walk to the other room. You walk in. They go into the enchanting rooms.
Am I still there?
You're still standing there, waiting.
No, I am.
It's been
Arms
about
folded.
an hour and a half.
Arms folded, still watching.
Almost done. You get in there. He goes over to a closet, opens it up. Pick a color. And it's just like racks of robes.
Holy mother of evil.
And I'm going to say, make sure you get one that matches your eyes.
What colors are available?
Just
Anything and everything.
anything and everything.
Anything and everything I can think of.
All the colors of the rainbow. Like there are some
Purple.
crazy colored robes.
Fuchsia. No, the days of fuchsia passed.
Till. Why?
Alright. I'm just gonna be going through this giant, almost
White, so
impossibly
actually
big
glow in
closet,
the
picking
dark.
up the color while the rest of the group does their thing.
Okay, so you're just like going through all the different colors, and he's just standing there.
It has to match his skin.
My patient runs thin with this one.
It's like I'm a winter.
It's this one.
Okay, so they grab you.
Cool
They lead you into a room. You see his glaive and her dagger being worked on, her sword being worked on, and she's just standing there watching. Thank you.
Oh, I was wondering when you'd
An
show.
enchanter comes over and sits down. Now, what shall I put on it?
Damage on undead.
Damage on that. Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm
Goes
gonna
over
walk
and grabs a
over
couple things and comes over
and
and
see
starts
which color he picks.
inscribing on it.
Ah! Zest!
Lime green.
You're obviously a, well, I wouldn't say expert, but someone who enjoys fashion.
You see, as I'm brightly dressed.
What do you think of this one? I pull a hot pink one.
It matches your eyes.
Thank you, but it's a no.
That is a woman's robe.
Well,
Well, are they differentiated into size?
It'll fit you. No matter what size. It is a magical robe.
Oh, well, that's good. Okay, I'm going to pick out. Dang it all.
Is this like a, you know how the fashion shopping spree montage where it's like people are trying on different outfits and everyone's like, the shake of the head and like the
Yes.
chin stroke and
this
the
is
person comes out
exactly
wearing-
what that is.
Yeah.
If you may remind me, what exactly are these robes supposed to do?
They'll give you extra armor class. They will protect you a little more than that robe will. And it's magical, so it doesn't tear as easily.
He needs
Well.
that.
Oi! Well then.
Point at his obviously tattered bottom of his robes.
Oi! Each one of these has a story.
I know. Pulls out scraps.
Just pick a robe. They are all the same.
Yes,
Just
one
different
robe,
colours.
please. Honestly.
Do you think this one can pull off all colors?
This is the customization option
Right,
of
I'm
a
gonna
video
pull-
game.
Okay,
Avatar.
I'm gonna pull a coat off the rack. That's a deep navy blue with
Okay.
maroon lining.
Okay.
And I'm going to look at you like you're crazy.
Is that the one you choose?
What do you think, Zest?
No.
Oh, why ever not?
You'll look like you're glowing when you're not in the darkness. You already look like you're glowing when you're in the
It's
darkness.
a deep navy blue with maroon, both of which are dark colors. Red cannot be perceived very well in dark
I'm gonna
spaces.
wander
Yes,
over. My
but
sword's
you
taken care
are
of.
white.
So,
Okay.
I'm gonna put on the cloak.
You look even more dead than you did before.
So, as you put the cloak on, it just melds to your body. It fits perfectly.
Lovely.
Cloak or robe?
This is a robe.
Beautiful. Lovely. I gotta get the enchantment on this. Is it color changeable too?
No.
Oh, I'll fix that eventually.
You are not an enchanter, you are a conjurer.
Who says I can't learn?
The books. The books say.
Well,
I
clearly
wrote the
books are thick and idiots.
I turn to my sister and in Infernal say, "Can I start?"
I'm gonna say Infernal, don't torture the man more than you obviously already have.
I'm going to walk away now. I am not associated with this terrible fashion.
He closes the door and locks it.
Got something better to do, Zest?
Apparently.
I
What are
will
you
let the
looking
gods
for?
show you out. I have students to get to. You have used up a lot of my day.
I apologize profusely. Please go enjoy yourself with your students.
Grandiose town.
Yes. Turns around and walks off.
So you're sticking with the navy and maroon.
Yes, I am. Now, do you
You
think
look
we can
like
get
a star.
Do you think we can get this tailored to be a naval coat?
Maybe with the
I
right
don't
people. Do we
think-
have time? I don't think we have time.
Eventually along the way.
So, your dagger and sword and glaive are finished. And they hand them back to you.
Dagger.
They are now a +1.
Ha!
+1 what?
That means
That's
it's
just a
you
plus
add
one.
1 to your attack bonus and
And
1 to your damage bonus.
And they count as magic items, unless they are in the anti-magic field, and then they count as regular weapons.
Until they leave it.
Until they leave it. Then they are magic weapons again. Voila!
Oh, I
Just
just
plus
I
one
just
to
realized
damage,
I
right?
forgot to
+1
increase
to
all
damage
that.
and attack.
Okay.
Basic enchantment of magic weapon.
We need to put that anti-magic sphere inside of a lead
We do.
bullseye lantern.
Ah, yes, that'd be beautiful.
So then we can have an anti-magic cone that we can shine on magic users as we slash their
Should have been
faces.
included in the favors. It's too late now.
Well, we have personal funds, don't we?
So, is there anything you would like to do as your weapons are now done, except for yours? It'll take a couple days.
Yes, I need to go and work on getting full plate.
Meanwhile, whenever I'm
Trading
with
in my
Mirth,
chainmail and
I'm going to use
getting-
minor illusion and cover him.
I have disguised self.
No, not you.
Oh.
Mirth.
Okay, okay.
Cover me with what?
An illusion.
No, I just want to make my skin paler, make my skin more naturally toned.
No, it's just gonna cover the
You are
cloak.
now blue, and you match your cloak.
Robe. It's a robe.
Right, I'm gonna pull out
Sure,
my
that's
book
fine.
and start reading over all the new conjuration spells I have.
Okay.
While also muttering on my breath, what short-sighted traditionalist fools.
And I'm gonna mutter.
In Infernal!
Yeah,
Infernal.
I like them better.
Okay.
Honestly, no diversity, no innovation, just pure as one single-minded specialist.
Mirth.
Yes?
Nothing. Continue on with what you were doing.
Alright
So-
then.
You make your
Steamed
way
enough to probably roast a boar by now.
to a. Whoa, what the crap?
I'm
Access.
glad he didn't stew enough to roast it.
Access to
yeah.
an entire
And
wizard's
bowl.
library, and all I get is a bunch of traditionalism.
So, you make your way to an armor, trade in your plate, king's compensation. I mean, you trade in your chainmail. You're able to get your full plate.
Happy day.
Happy
Learn
day.
how to draw plate armor.
You said there were no
Maybe
cantrips, right?
like
No cantrips. First through third level.
what's better for a fighter?
And they're all
actually?
conjuration.
What's better armor for a fighter?
Fighter can wear anything.
Better armor is armor that's
Like
good.
Mobility.
Mobility,
It
studded
doesn't-
leather.
Yes.
Okay, cool. May I get that, please?
What are you wearing right now?
Just plain leather.
Plain leather? Studded leather? Oh,
Beautiful. Just some of the spells I wanted.
I'm sure.
Actually, some of them are.
Okay. So, you trade in your leather and you
Oh, wait.
get your studded leather.
So what does my new magic cloak do?
It's just a
Coat.
+1 cloak. +1 robe.
I asked for a mage armor item, gosh dang it, all that stinking college. I'm sure they might get better in the future. Perhaps. I don't think so, but maybe.
Okay. So, your weapon, taking care of your armor. Anything else you do? It is getting a little bit later in the afternoon.
How about lunch?
Oh yes, lunch. I am starved. Maybe on the way to the 5th level where we can meet up with Timetail.
Okay. You make your way down to the 5th layer towards
Munching on munchies.
the magic shop, hitting up a a nice little, oh, that is not a bar. That is a warehouse.
I could punch that too.
Hitting up the mysterious satyr on the way to Tinetail. It is poor dining, but it is affordable.
Says, since you caused most of the crimes that got us incriminated, you get to pay.
Who says?
I say, my sister says, and your accomplice here in murder
Well, you
says.
owe me a favor.
For what? What favor? Seriously, help me out here. I can't
You
remember.
froze my grass.
That wasn't anything. You you knocked me out and stole from me. That is starting of my payback to you, which you still owe me for.
They bring your food. It's a modest meal.
Okay, I'll pay for everyone except you.
Great, Gildal, you get to pay for me because you pulled us out of the dungeon and
No, no.
murdered 16
Remember?
guards.
You took my loot from that one dungeon, which means
Yes.
you can pay out of my funds.
I took a loot?
Yes, you took an extra
You
cut.
took his share.
No, loot
Oh.
as an instrument.
Oh!
L-O-O-T. Not
Okay, so I'll-
L-U-T-E.
I'll just pay out of that then. Got it.
Do you not have
My
any
lovely
money?
sister, what can I do for you today?
I'm paying for her.
Shush you.
I'm paying.
Is there anything I can do to make you happier today?
That'll be 12 silvers.
Mirth.
For
The food.
all of it?
Yes, all of it.
Okay. So that means
1 gold, 2 silvers.
So that's,
So that's pretty much like 3
6, 9, 12.
silvers per
Yep.
meal.
Alright,
Yes, 3 silvers.
well, Zest, go on.
If you want to make
9
me
from
happier,
you.
Mirth,
I will do
you'll find me
9.
around.
Of course, sometime later.
He takes the change and walks off.
Alright, once he leaves, I'm going to toss 3 silvers to Zest to pay for my meal.